Hello everyone and welcome to another educational video from Elliott Wave Forecast. My name is Eric. Today is the 19th of February around 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and in this following video we're gonna take a look and we're gonna try to teach every member or non-member about the difference of or the mistake of the 5 waves. When you get into the Elliott Wave trading, the Elliott Wave principle is something very, very relevant that was discovered in 1930s by a person named Elliott. The principle, it works in the market, and the principle has worked in the market for several years. Now, we need to keep in mind and understand that when Elliott discovered the Elliott Wave Principle was in 1930s. We're talking about almost 100 years ago. With the time and the human evolution into a more sophisticated branch of human beings, if we can call it like that, the principle also needs to be adapted. In other words, you cannot trade these markets in 2014 with the same thinking or tools that Elliott has or did in 1930s. If you pretend to be that, you're gonna do two things. You're gonna create a wrong name to the beautiful Elliott Wave principle, or you're gonna be making wrong course of things that do not work, and then you're gonna create a bad name to the Elliott Wave principle. I want to start the video saying that the principle is a beautiful thing, but it needs to be adjusted to the point that you need to incorporate new rules and you need to incorporate new tools to the Elliott Wave principle that was discovered in 1930. I always say to everyone that listens to my conference or seminars, is like driving or understanding the evolution of the cars. You cannot compare in technology anything, a car, a BMW from 2014 to a car, a Chevy from 1930s. They have nothing to do. They have things in common, but at the end, they have nothing to do one to the other. In other words, today's cars are more sophisticated, more powerful, a better car than when it was discovered in 1930. Elliott Wave principle is part of the human nature. And because it's part of the human nature and it was discovered by the human, the waivers needs to do evolutions also within the principle. I don't trade only based in the idea that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. If you're gonna be a waiver like that, I guarantee you're gonna be wrong more than you're right. Because today's world is controlled by computers. Computers give you tools to make a more precise link forecasting than what Elliott unfortunately have in 1930. I'm not taking away nothing of his discovery, but over several years it has been investigated and developing something that we call the new Elliott Wave principle. He said 18 rules instead of 4, and in which those rules needs to be in place in order for you to be able to forecast the market. Today, you're gonna see the 5-way impulse. That's the first instant that a new waiver have when it comes to the market. It is the idea that everything is 5 ways, and that's a mistake. I tell you, you don't get that many 5 ways in this world. You don't get that many 5 ways in this market. Eventually, you get more 3 ways than 5 ways, but that's a topic for another video. What you can see is that 5 ways right now can be seen in the market, yes, in some degrees. But you need to have rules in place to be able to identify a five-way structure or the three-way structure. During the video, we're gonna provide two examples that looks like five ways, and I'm gonna show you why one is a five, the other one is a three. I mean, it's very simple topic, but is the reaction or is the reality, better say. If you take a look at what Mr. Elliott developed in 1930, he said that wave one was nothing more than a fight between the old trend and the new trend. That wave three, it was an agreement between the new trend, an agreement that everyone agreed that the new trend is rooting the cycle. Wave four was a profit taking, and the new trend started to get weak. And the wave five, it was the end and was lacking momentum. So Mr. Elliott say that the topic of the wave, the bottom of the wave four cannot penetrate the top of the wave one. It is a valid concept. But the idea is that you can see things like that and still can trap it in the wrong five-way structure. To prove that, we're gonna go here and we're gonna start the video with the S&P 500. The whole world was calling the decline from the 15 at the beginning of January of 2014 as a five-way decline. Everyone was thinking that that was a five-way decline and that the S&P is gonna crash. Why? Because in the optical weight, the S&P can give you that idea. You can say this is the S&P. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exactly. If you have a bias and you believe that the S&P is gonna crash, you're gonna see five ways because the human eyes, they're gonna see what they want to see. And let's start saying that Elliott Wave Principle as a principle is very suggested. So those tools that each one of you guys needs to develop are the one that is gonna make the difference for you how successful as a forecaster you are compared to another person that doesn't follow new rules and do not adapt to the new times of the of the human develop. It's not the same human sociality that we have in 2014 that it was in 1930. Consequently, it cannot be the same Elliott Wave Principle. So this is the S&P. I'm gonna say you guys why the S&P is not a five. If you take a look, a five-way move in this case is a sequence in which you coming from the high, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically speaking, according to Elliott, this peak can never break into the lows of the wave one. They cannot overlap. That's very nice. But the reality is that in price, in our technique, we need to have a sequence coming from the highs to the lows. In other words, it needs to be a channeling process in which you can see only one cycle in the RSI. I want you guys to understand that wave 5 always comes with divergence in momentum. I want you guys to understand that a five-way sequence it provides to you for divergence, including wave 1. If you avoid the divergence of the wave 1, you need to have 3 divergences to have a complete sequence. So 3 divergences at least coming from the beginning of wave 3 and a channeling RSI showing only one sequence is one of the tools that you can use to be a better successful Elliott Wave person. Now, this is the RSI. Like I say, you can make the case and say that the RSI did like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you go to the RSI. You add here the RSI. And why the RSI? Because Mr. Elliott say that the wave 5 in principle always is gonna lack momentum against the top of the bottom of the powerful wave 3. Now, if you go over here in the RSI, you cannot trace, and this is the 15-minute time frame, you cannot trade a channel right here in which you can put everything between the channel. You see right here, there is no channel there. The market right there, technically, it has no channel. So that's one of the reasons why the S&P, it is not in this decline a 5-way move. It's because it doesn't follow an impulse sequence. We develop, like I say, 18 rules in which we analyze the market, not only the price, we analyze distribution of the candles, we analyze distribution of the price, we analyze the RSI in order to be able to understand what a 5-weight is, what a 5-weight is not. So the reason why uh, the S&P decline is not a 5 is because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming out to here, to this low in 8. And then from here, you have 3 ways to the highest, 8, B, and C. But the channel is not present there. As you see, there is no channeling in any degree right there. And then the RSI, when you add the RSI there, you can see the idea that the RSI neither, the same way that the price doesn't have a channel, the RSI here doesn't have a channel or an impulse sequence. Now, I'm going to show you guys now a 5-way sequence right here. You're going to take a look at the Euro Aussie. This is a 15-minute chart of the Euro Aussie from 12th of February to the 13th. You're going to see how you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in blue, and then in red 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, you can see how you have right here also 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which I can show you to you guys here so everybody see where we're coming from. You see over here, you see, and you come over here, then you come over here, and over here. You see 5 ways in blue 1. You see 3 ways back in blue 2. You see the wave 3, the 4, and the 5. When you get that right there, and you see the sequence of the 5-way, where the wave 1 is subdivided in 5 waves. The wave 3 also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 4, and a 5, and it is subdivided also in 5 ways. Another way to look at it is like this. When you put this over here, and you make an irregular correction, A, B, and C, coming from here, and this lead also is in 5, you got the sequence of 9 impulses, in which you can the 9 swing, in which it runs like a 5, 9, 13. So in that way, you are in the game for it in impulse matter. Now, there is no difference in your eyes to the idea that this is a 5 compared to this is being a 5. I mean, a person without probably Elliott in 1930 would have called both of them a 5 ways. Now, the difference is that the distribution of the movement is not the same. And that's something that runs behind the scene. That's something that the price will never give you the idea of what it is a 5 and what it is not a 5. Because in your eyes, I cannot deny the idea that you can say that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you want it. Or you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, the Euro Aussie is a 5-way swing. The other is not. But a person from 1930, we won't see the difference between the two of them, even less a person with a crash bias in the S&P. Now, with that being said, you go here and you put the RSI in the Euro Aussie. You put the RSI in the Euro Aussie, and you're going to be able to see that there is a sequence coming from the lows that is channeling. You're gonna see how the movement, it has an impulse sequence. You're gonna see how the movement right here show a divergency here, it show a divergency here in this candle, and also show a divergency on the final candle. You can see how you get three ways there completely. I mean, three divergency of the whole of the lows. Also, if you downgrade the RSI, you're gonna be able to see divergency in this peak. This is a 15-minute. I guarantee you that if you downgrade it to the 5, you're gonna see right there divergency. So the RSI channeling in a sequence is telling me what is a 5, what is a trap. Every member of Elliott Wave Forecast knew right here that this was a trap and this was a great buying opportunity to buy risk. Everyone was getting blind. Why? Because the 5-weight illusion that the market was created. I mean, it's very simple. If you look at this RSI, you can see that it's completely sideways saying these lows. You see that there is no a sequence, an impulse sequence. You see that there is no a channel how this peak goes higher than this one, this peak goes higher than this one, this peak goes higher than this one, this peak goes higher than this one. If you take a look at this RSI, is completely different. There is an RSI simple, of course. It's a new Elliott Wave. Of course, Mr. Elliott, with a great discovery in 1930, didn't have the RSI or did have anything to help the guy to understand how the distribution of the previous happened in the market. He probably didn't have RSI. I believe that the RSI was discovered in 1970s or something, and he didn't was able to understand that. Until today, I tried to figure it out how he was able to, to identify the idea that the wave 5 lacks in momentum. Probably he did it with the vertical movement in the wave 3 when it comes to price, and he's figured out that that the wave 5 was lacking momentum. But the discovery of the Elliott Wave Principle was a beautiful thing. I'm not denying anything. I'm just adding. We are just adding rules to a beautiful thing. We're trying to make it better. That's what Elliott Wave Forecast is being in the business for all this year, and that's why we are different. Because we follow new rules, guys, compared to the old guys of the Elliott Wave Principle. So keep in mind, try to improve everyone, trying to find your own path to develop a better system is a great tool. It needs to be combined with something else. It cannot be only Elliott Wave, but believe me, Elliott Wave Principle, being part of a system of trading, it can make it happen for you. This is a difficult business, but if you know how to apply it in the proper way, you can make a good living at it. But don't get these measures for Elliott Wave Forecast. Don't get attached to the past. Always try to improve in the future. In other words, if you understand that something was discovered in 1930s, that things needs to be improved. It's like the BMWs builders from today's world is being still constructing or building cars with the 1930 technology. That's what many waivers are doing in today's world, and that's why many waivers are giving the Elliott Wave Principle a bad name. As always, ElliottWaveForecast.com. We are here, guys. We don't go anywhere. And we are here to provide new ways to trade. Our members, they get everything from trend reports, people levels, videos, live sessions, everything that makes our family a successful family of trading. Traders that learn every day. Traders that open their minds and they are not thinking crash or thinking nothing in particular. They trade what the market provides without a bias. That's being successful in trading. Okay? Thank you, guys. And I hope to see you all around EWF. Thank you, guys.